We're going to deploy the application to production, but before moving on to that step, I'd like to discuss some of the inheritance hierarchies that we're using in this lesson. This discussion is mainly for those who have a background in object-oriented programming, but it's not going to do you any harm to get a quick overview if you haven't seen this before. So let's take a look at this. This is the inheritance hierarchy for the models. So we have active record base. This is the base class that has a bunch of things like the methods we just saw, like all, like user.all or user.first. That all happens inside of active record base. And both the user and micropost models inherit from active record base, so they automatically get all those methods. Take a look at the models. So that's this line here. I mentioned it briefly before. This this syntax here is inheritance in Ruby. The inheritance hierarchy for controllers is a little bit more complicated, but just slightly. There's an action controller base, an analogy with active record base. And then there's another controller that sits between the controllers we generated, called application controller. That's this. And then the user's controller and the micropost controller each inherit from the application controller. See here, same syntax. The reason for the second tier here, for this extra layer, is because it's very convenient to be able to put things in the application controller that apply to all of the controllers in the application. And if it weren't for this layer, we would have to actually edit somehow action controller base. But that's part of the Rails framework itself. It's not exposed to application developers.